Play the clip, and we'll discuss on the other side.
You asked why I want divorce to be banned.
Yeah.
Can I finish
Yeah.
first? So I'm saying, the people that believe in divorce, go be in long-term relationships. Leave marriage for the people that actually believe in, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, till death do us part.
But doesn't the sanctity of marriage also rely on the woman being a virgin, so you wouldn't be able to get married?
What do you mean?
Well, you've spoken quite openly about how you're not a virgin, and so if you want to preserve that sanctity of marriage, then I just think that you're upholding standards that you don't actually live by.
I wish I was. But we can't go back. I don't know what you want me to say.
No, but I just don't think it's fair that you get to be here and you get to be paid for your views, and you're telling other women that they shouldn't be allowed to.
You asked why I want divorce to be banned.
By the way, why did everybody laugh?
His face.
He was out there doing his thing. So funny. So in that clip, in that conversation, in that debate that Piers Morgan was hosting between Pearl and the other lady, she said a couple shocking things. People label her a misogynist. I don't know how that's possible unless you're a self-hating woman and you're a woman. I don't know how that works. But she said things like, women shouldn't be able to vote. All right. And the other girl's like, well, you're a woman. And it was interesting. She said that divorce should not be allowed. Did you catch that? And that women should be virgins when they get married. Okay? Very interesting. So there's so many different directions I could go with this conversation, but let's just stay on that virgin point. How realistic is it in the West today, American women? I love America. I love American women. I love everything America has. I love the American women. I love apple pie. I love the flag. I love it all. How realistic is it that she's expecting women in America or the West to be virgins when they get married? How realistic is that?
It's not.
Go ahead, Rissa.
I think that it is realistic for some people, if that's the route that they choose to go. I think for other people, maybe it's not realistic. I think that social media has really taken us on a trip around the sun as far as what's tolerable for women these days. You have little girls who are like 12, 13, 14, have an iPhone. They look on social media and they see girls in lingerie. Their parents don't put any parental settings on anything. They see all kinds of stuff. So you're expecting for these young girls who maybe have no parental direction and are seeing all this stuff on the outside world to still go this route of being a virgin when they get married. It's a really hard concept to stand behind when everything around them is not pushing them in that direction. Now, from my perspective, I grew up in a really small town. I was homeschooled my whole life. This was expected of me to be like, it was most important, not education, nothing. Most important was find a husband, get married, do a courtship when you're young, meet someone in the church. That was what my life was until I moved away from my parents. And I have brought those traditional values with me, throughout life, but I don't think that's the same for everything that's going on right now. Not only was I raised in the 90s, but in addition to the way I was raised, it's not something that society is pushing in the direction of women at this time.
What religion were you when you were at
I
the
was
church?
raised in a Christian religion.
Just general,
just non-denominational.
good old-fashioned, regular old Christianity.
Yep, in a very small place.
All good.
Jesus Christ.
We love them. What percentage of the women you grew up with got married as virgins, growing up in that culture?
I'll tell you, my sister did.
Okay, so one.
My parents, my
Two.
mom.
What percentage overall?
Most of my girlfriends when I was 14 and 15 were losing their virginity, and that was before social media was even a thing.
Okay.
I was not on that stance with them.
And they were raised in the church?
These girls were just girls in the neighborhood, These were just little girlfriends that I had in the neighborhood.
Gotcha.
As far as girls in the church go, it was very stringent, very skirt to your knees.
So I'll ask you on behalf as an American woman, because we didn't grow up in a little small town going to church, how realistic, let's talk numbers. 1% of women, 2%, 10%, 50%. In America today, percentage-wise, how likely is it for a woman to get married and be a virgin?
I mean, at this point, I think it's below 10%.
Okay. Zainab, I want to go to you next.
Yes.
Okay? Because I want to have some commentary on America and Pakistan.
Sure.
Okay? So in America, how realistic is it? And what's your guess on percentage? Nat, you could probably find this stat. What percentage of women in America get married are virgins? Don't reveal it yet. How does it work in America, in your opinion? You've been here 6 years. How does it work in Pakistan?
So I do not think that there are a lot of women that are virgins in the U.S. when they get married.
Define a lot.
A lot. I would say
percentages. We're fans of stats around.
I would say probably 70%.
70%?
Yeah.
Are you crazy?
The women that are not virgin, right? That's what I'm saying.
That are not virgin.
That are not
so
virgin.
30% are virgins?
When they get married?
When they get married. That's your number.
No, sorry. I'm saying 70% are not virgins.
Yes.
When they get married.
Meaning 30% are.
Yeah.
I mean,
the
hey,
US.
listen, I'm not
in the U.S.
I'm not
and the
a
reason I say
mathematician,
that,
but 70 and 30, that's 100 right there, baby.
The reason I say that is because, like we spoke earlier, that women are very easy to get these days. Like, men don't have to work hard enough. Like, I know so many girls that are just like, oh, I was just bored, so I went home with this guy. They're just very easy to get, and they will do things like sleeping around just out of boredom or just out of fun.
I would say one thing. Women are easy to get for a certain type of guy. Because there's a lot of dudes out there that be, what do you mean that women are easy to get? I'm struggling out here, homie. Like, but if you're a certain type of guy, yeah, it's not hard.
Correct.
But for most men, I actually think it is hard. So I think the stats are like the top 10% of guys are getting like 80% of the chicks, and then there's the middle guys that are like maybe they're getting, and then the bottom third of men are getting zip, zero, zilch. So,
but they're easy to sleep with in the U.S. as compared to. They're easy to take home or sleep with in the U.S. as compared to like Pakistan or like.
So
other
how does it
countries.
work in Pakistan? What percentage of women in Pakistan get married that are virgins? You basically said it's 70-30 here.
Yeah.
What do you think it is there?
I think it's 70% are virgin. I would say that.
So flipped.
Yeah, I would say it would.
So
be
we're
flipped.
talking Eastern versus Western culture. Nat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're looking at some stats, right?
Yeah,
Don't reveal it.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's wait to the end, baby.
Okay.
Carl, what percentage of women in America today are getting married as virgins?
I would say 1 to 2%.
1 to 2%.
I'll go with 1%.
Okay, gotcha. You know how to say he's a high value man. He's a 1% man. Would that be considered a high value 1% woman?
Yes. Absolutely. To me, that's a high value woman.
Wow. Okay. Amy, all the way from Australia.
Yeah.
How does it work here in the United States, and how does it work down there in the land of Oz?
In the land down under, it pretty much works about the same.
Yeah, it does.
I would say, because so much of American media really permeates and influences culture in Australia. I feel like maybe it wouldn't so much I'm sure it does to an extent in places like Pakistan, but probably not to the extent in places like Australia and Western countries.
There's the East and the West. Australia's like the one country that's like, yeah, they're kind of the West, even though it's, it's the Southern Hemisphere. It's
exactly.
Totally,
Just group
they
them
go
all
the
in.
wrong direction. It's all good, but yes. I've been to Australia. Lovely country, lovely people, lovely women.
Putting
lovely
a number
kangaroos.
on it, lovely kangaroos. Yeah, they're putting a number on it would be really difficult. I'd say probably, percentage of virgins. I'm just going to stick with my 5%.
Okay.
Based off
so 95% of women are getting married.
Yeah, and I completely agree with your
non-virgins.
point. I think you made a really good point. The amount of sexualization that is occurring right now in our society, and especially being pushed towards the younger demographic, I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it's very, very intentional, and it is a direct attack against the atomic family, the family unit, and trying to help us kind of water down a lot of these values. You look at an M-rated movie, going back even like, I don't know, or an R-rated movie, going back 5-10 years ago, and that would be a PG or M-rated movie today in a lot of instances. And I don't think it's a coincidence.
Interesting. Sergio, Purple Pill Man?
It's definitely 1%, man. Like, these girls aren't getting married as virgins anymore. Most girls aren't virgins. I really hate that guys even sit there and try to shoot for something like that, because it's just not possible.
Gotcha. Now, find the stat on also what men. So when we come to you, you're going to give us 2 stats. United States, men and women getting married as virgins. And we're coming back and around to Shay and then Caro.
I would say the percentage of women getting married as virgins right now would probably be like 7.
7%.
Yeah.
Lucky number 7. Mickey Mantle. All right.
Oh.
Anything more you'd like to add to that?
Society is pushing a bad agenda right now. where a lot of girls are losing their virginities very early. I lost mine at 18, but like my peers, that was it. That was it for them.
Gotcha. So if you like that clip, click right here to watch another, or if you want to watch the entire SOSCAST, click right here.